Hey everyone, Delta Fan 270 here with another airport update at Palms View International Airport. And in this update we have special guests. We have Gemini 1975, say hello.
Yo everybody, what's up?
We have Bryce's Aviation and Siren, say hello.
Hi guys.
And we have British Aviation, say hello.
Hello everybody.
And we have Little Trek 777 in here who is not able to talk right now. So over here by runway 9 left, we have a Lufthansa 747-8 that's arriving about 40 minutes early from Frankfurt. Over here, let me see if I can get a good shot of this. It's probably as good as it's gonna get. We have a Delta 757-200 Sky Team that's gonna be making a flight over to Salt Lake City and came from St. Martin. Over here we have a Qantas 747-400. That's going to be making a flight over to Sydney. And back here, arriving, we have a Frontier A319. That came in from Trenton, and it's going to make a flight over to Las Vegas later. And also, we have a KLM A330-200, 95 years. That came in from Amsterdam, and it's going to make a flight back over there later. And just after the Lufthansa 747-8 came in on 9 left, we have a Delta A320. That's coming in from, hold on here, Newark LaGuardia, and it's going to make a flight over to Fort Lauderdale. Over here we have a Frontier A320 Griswold the Bear. That's going to be making a flight over to Denver and came from Phoenix. Behind that we have an American Airlines 737-800 Reno Air. That's going to be making a flight over to Seattle and came from Kansas City. Over here we have a Delta MD-88. That's going to be making a flight over to Albany and it came from Little Rock. We have a Delta 737-800. That's going to be making a flight over to Colorado Springs. And it came from Baltimore, and that's going to come back here and make a flight over to Puerto Vallarta tomorrow. Over here we have a JetBlue A320 I Heart New York. That's going to be making a flight over to Oakland and it came from Newark. Down here we have a US Airways A320 operating as American. That's going to be making a flight over to Charlotte and came from Washington National. And down here, this is the first new model. We have a Southwest 737-800. That's going to be making a flight over to, I think I said 800, so that's obviously a 700. We have a Southwest 737-700. That's going to be making a flight over to Milwaukee and came from Baltimore. And taking off, we have an American Airlines 777-300. That's going to be making a flight over to London Heathrow and came from Los Angeles. Delta 777-200. That's about to push back for a flight over to Atlanta and came from Johannesburg. Then it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Central Texas or Gemini 1975's airport. Over here we have a Delta 757-300 that's just loading up. That's going to be making a flight over to Atlanta and it came from Minneapolis. Over here we have a Delta MD-88 that's going to be making a flight over to Nashville and came from Charlotte. And then we have another Delta MD-88 right here. That's going to be making a flight over to Dallas-Fort Worth and it came from Cancun. Just pulling into the gate we have a Delta 737-900 Spirit of Seattle. That's coming in from West Palm Beach, and then it's going to make a flight over to Portland, and then it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Burlington, Central Carolina Airport, or Citrus Aviation's airport. Then we have a Delta MD-90 that's just about to push back. That's going to Boston and came from St. Louis. Here we have a Delta A320 that's going to be making a flight over to Detroit, and it came in from Punta Cana. And loading up over here, we have a Delta 737-900. That's going to be making a flight over to Milwaukee and came from Los Angeles. And over here, getting some service, we have not getting service, just about to be pushed back. We have a Delta 757-200. That's going to be making a flight to Denver and it came from Cincinnati. And getting service over here, we have a Delta 767-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Las Vegas and it came from Seattle. And on the international side of Terminal 1, we have a Delta A330-300. That's going to be making a flight to Amsterdam and it came from Rome. Over here, next next to that, we have Virgin Atlantic A330-300. That's going to be making a flight over to London Heathrow, and it came in from London Heathrow. This Delta A330-200 is getting some service for a flight over to Sao Paulo, and it came from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Pushing back, we have a Delta 787-300, Habitat for Humanity. That's going to be making a flight over to Dusseldorf, and it came from London Heathrow. Over here we have Air France A340-300 getting some service. It just came in from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and it's going to be making a flight back over there later. And over here we have a Delta A319. That's coming in from Port-au-Prince, and it's going to make a flight to Washington Dulles. Then it's going to come back here, and make a flight over to Shoreview International Airport or Delta Flyer HD's airport. So over here at Terminal 5, we have a Delta 717. That's going to be making a flight over to Miami. It came from Houston Hobby. Then it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Riverside County International Airport or Miami Aviation HD's airport. Next to that, we have a Delta 737-700. That's going to be making a flight to New Orleans, and it came in from Tegucigalpa. I think that's how you say it. And by the way, guys, this airport update takes place around 7 p.m., so the airport's really busy. And over here I did some work like painting the board, finally. So this just serves as like a overflow traffic ramp. And the Lufthansa 748 is over here for a reason that you'll see in a second. And also over here we have a WestJet 737-800. That's over here because it was supposed to take off earlier, but during takeoff they were having engine performance issues, so they aborted takeoff, and now it's over here for the FAA and WestJet to inspect. And over here at Terminal 3, we have a Continental 764 operating as United. That's going to be making a flight to Sao Paulo, and it just came in from Berlin. Next to that, we have a United 757-300 that's just about to push back. That's making a flight to Newark, and it came from Denver. Then it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Chicago O'Hare or Gemini Jets 30's airport. Next to that, we have a United 737-800 getting some service. That's going to be making a flight to Houston Intercontinental and came through Chicago O'Hare. And over here we have a United Express CRJ 700. That's going to be making a flight to Chicago O'Hare, and it came from Washington Dulles. Now on the other side, the second new model's over here. We have a Silver Airways Saab 340. That's going to be making a flight over to Orlando and came from Fort Lauderdale. And here's the second new model, guys. We have a Copa Airlines 737-800. That's going to be making a flight over to Panama City, and it came in from Panama City. Next to that, we have a United Airlines A320 Friendship. That's going to be making a flight to Denver, and it came from Newark. Just leaving the terminal to get to runway 9, right, we have United Express CRJ 200. That's going to be making a flight to Cleveland and came from Nassau. Now to Concourse B in Terminal 3. And I also put new terminal foils on this part. There used to be not any here before. We have an Alaska Airlines 737-800 and the Boeing livery. That's going to be making a flight over to I can't remember if it's Portland or Seattle. That's going to be making a flight over to Seattle and came in from there. Over here we have a Virgin America A319. That's going to be making a flight over to San Francisco, and it came from Los Angeles. And over here we have an Aeromexico 737-700. That came in from Guadalajara around 5. It was either Guadalajara or Cancun, I can't remember. I'll put it in the video. And then it's going to go back to one of those two places later. And just leaving, we have that's going to be making, that's taxiing over to runway 10 left for takeoff because there's already a lot of traffic by 9 right. And 10 left and 10 right aren't in this whole airport thing. I'm looking into making them somehow, just on a different board, but I'm still looking into that and thinking about how I'm going to do it. But anyway, we have a US Airways A319 operating as American. Allegheny. That's going to be making a flight over to Mexico City and came now on to board number 3. We have United Airlines A320. That's coming in from San Francisco, and it's gonna make a flight over to Boston later. And here we have an Air Canada Rouge 767-300. That's gonna be making a flight over to, or that's coming in from Sydney Arms, which is Aviation Winnipeg's airport. Then it's gonna be going back out there. Just push back. We have an American Airlines A330-300. That's gonna make a flight to Dublin. And it came in from Philadelphia, then it's going to come back here and go to Terminal 6, or the American Airlines terminal. We have a American Airlines 767-300. That's getting some service for a flight over to Madrid and came from Chicago O'Hare. Then it's going to come back here and make a flight to New York JFK. About to pull into the gate, we have an American Airlines 757-200. That's coming in from Dallas Fort Worth. Then it's going to make a flight over to San Francisco. We're gonna continue on the international side. Over here, this is the third new model. We have a British Airways 744 getting a lot of service. This just came in from London Heathrow. The 744 replaced the 788 on that route due to a lot of passengers, or that market is starting to increase a lot at the airport. So they replaced it with a 744, and now they're continuing to expand by adding London Gatwick to on the Palms View route list. So yeah, that came in from London Heathrow. And I just painted this terminal, and I also put some foils on. I think these look pretty good. I just don't know if I should put those on the rest of the terminal. Over here, we have a Qatar 777-300 One World that just pushed back. That's making a flight to Doha, and it came in from Doha. Over here, we have a LATAM 787-9 getting a lot of service for a flight over to Santiago, and it came from Santiago. On this side of the terminal, we have an American Airlines A321. That's going to be making a flight over to San Diego, and it came from San Juan. This American 737-800 new livery, that's getting loaded up for a flight over to Chicago O'Hare, and it came from Minneapolis. Next to that, we have an American Airlines MD-80. That's going to be making a flight over to Indianapolis, and it came from Detroit. Next to that, yeah, sure, good enough. We have an American Eagle CRJ-700 operated by Envoy. That's making a flight to Cincinnati, and it came from San Antonio. Here we have an American Airlines A319. That's going to be making a flight to Salt Lake City, and it came from Houston Intercontinental. And next to that, we have an American Airlines 737-800 old livery. That's going to be making a flight over to New York LaGuardia, and it came from Miami. And over here, we have an Interjet A320. That's going to be making a flight over to Mexico City, and it came in from Mexico City. Now we're moving on to the cargo ramp, and I just painted, or a few weeks ago, I painted the cargo terminal finally, and I also added office-type window things to it. So, yeah. Over here, this UPS 767-300 is getting ready for a flight over to Louisville, and came from Bogota, Colombia. And over here, this UPS 763 is also getting loaded for a flight over to Philadelphia, and came from Miami. Just push back, we have a UPS MD-11. That's going to be making a flight over to Chicago O'Hare, and it came from Seattle Boeing. Over here, getting loaded up, we have a FedEx MD-10. That's going to be making a flight over to Newark, and it came from Los Angeles. Next to that, we have a KLM DC-10 that's getting operated as FedEx. We'll just say that FedEx took it out of a storage boneyard type place and is converting it to FedEx use. That's going to be making a flight to Memphis, and it came from Indianapolis. So not too long ago, I wanted to make a scenic part of the airport with like grass and stuff. I mean, there's grass on the taxiways, obviously, but I want to use something that more incorporate like stuff like plants and stuff like this. This is still a work in progress, but this area over here represents, this is near Runway 4, which is the runway that a lot of flights to Palms View use if they're coming from South America, Central America, or Mexico. It could also, if it's little. Yeah. And planes that are going to New York can also use it, or somewhere on the East Coast can use this runway. or I mean, there's no runway here, but it would be like over here-ish. I might add like a EMAS thing soon, but planes are going on the East Coast can use this runway if other runways have too much traffic on them. But anyway, this United Airlines A319, that's coming in from New York LaGuardia. No, that's coming in from Cancun, and then it's gonna make a flight to New York LaGuardia. And now over here at Terminal 7, I just painted this board, and I had grass down there, and I put foils on the terminals and painted them, or the terminals that need to be painted. All the foils are done except for here and the rotunda down there. I still don't know what windows I want to use for that. But over here we have a Delta connection, CRJ 700 operated by ExpressJet. That's going to be making a flight to Tri-Cities and came from Jackson, Mississippi. And down here we have a Northwest Airlines CRJ 900 also operated by ExpressJet. That's going to be making a flight to Jacksonville and came from Charleston, West Virginia. Down here we have a Delta connection Saab 340 operated by Sunshine State Express, which is a fictional regional airline they made up for the Florida area. That's going to be making a flight to Brunswick, Georgia, and it came from Melbourne, Florida. This Delta connection E170 operated by Shuttle America, that's making a flight to Orlando, and it came from Indianapolis. Then it's going to come back here and make a flight to Buffalo, New York. Down here we have a Southwest 737-700 Nevada Battleborn. That's going to be making a flight to Atlanta and came from Washington National. Just pushing back, we have a Southwest 737-800. That's going to be making a flight over to Denver, and it came from Las Vegas. Over here we have a Southwest 737-300. That's over here because it came in from Cancun, so it's unloading passengers into the customs area. And then it's going to continue on to Nashville. Just pushing back, we have a Norwegian Air Shuttle 789. That's making a flight over to London Gatwick, and it came from London Gatwick. Over here we have an Iceland Air 767-300 pushing back a little late. That's making a flight over to Reykjavik, and it came in from Reykjavik. Now over here, this is the grass mat stuff that I used to use, and over here is it's sprinkled on grass stuff that I bought. I like the way it looks. It looks a lot better than the mad grass stuff. So over here we have a Cargolux 747-400. That's going to be making a flight over to New York JFK, and it came from Houston Intercontinental. And over here we have an Emirates A380 that just arrived. That's going to be making a flight over to, no, it's coming in from Hamburg, and it's going to make a flight back over there, but then it's going to continue on to Dubai. So this flight went Dubai, Hamburg, and then Palms View, and then it's going to do the same, but reversed. So Palms View, Hamburg, Dubai. It's kind of like the JFK, Milan, Dubai flight. That's what I based this off of. But I didn't want to do Milan because JFK already has that. So, yeah. And also down here, I forgot this Spirit A319 that's coming into the terminal. This is coming from Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to make a flight to DFW. That's all for this update, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And do any of the special guests have anything to say? Okay, I don't think they're here anymore. But anyway, that's all for this video. And let me know what you guys think of the video. And hopefully I'll start posting a lot more videos. Yeah, that's all for this airport update, and see you next time.